Hello everyone. So in the last video we have seen how to create a basic application in React using the create react app command, right? So npx create react app, and along with it the application name, let's say my app. Okay, so if I press enter, what it will basically do is it will create an application named my app, or if you give it another name, let's say my project, it will create an application named my project on your system. Okay, so we have seen this in our earlier video. So in today's video, what I'll try to show you is the file structure of any React application, any basic React application file structure. We'll try to see it in this video. So let me open the project that we had created in the earlier video. This was the project, my React project tree, if you remember. So let me open this folder and let me open the path in the terminal. Okay, so as you can see I am on this path, and this is the project, my React project tree, right? And what I'll do is I'll open this project inside my text editor, and I chose to open it with VS Code. Now VS Code is free and open source text editing software, so you can write your programs, you can write your code inside VS Code, and it is pretty good, so I recommend using it. And to open my project inside VS Code, I'll type code dot. Okay, and what it will do is I'll press enter and it will open my project inside Visual Studio Code, right? So this is the project, my React project tree. Okay, and at the root level we can see there are three folders: node modules, public, and src, which stands for source. Node modules, public, and src are three folders inside my React project tree, and there are four files: git ignore, packagelog.json, package.json, and a readme file. Okay, along with the structure, I'll let you know which files you can just skip and ignore, okay, and which files to focus on. Okay, so this package.json will start off with this file. Package.json file, it contains the dependencies, these dependencies and the scripts. Okay, I'll let you know where to put your focus. Okay, this package.json file, it contains the dependencies and the scripts. You just need to remember these things. So it also lists out the name of the projects and the version and all these things, and within the dependencies, all the dependencies that are required. And it says me that I'm using React version 17.0.2, and the scripts that I'm using, like the scripts needed, that are start, scripts for building, scripts for testing, and so on. Okay, so these things are listed out in package.json file. So next file is the packagelog.json file. Now why this file exists is because if you remember, we use the npm as our package manager, right? As our package manager, we had used npm, and so we have this file in our structure. So they make sure that all the dependencies that are installed correctly and are consistent enough, right? So this file exists just to make sure that all your dependencies are correctly installed and are consistent. Okay, so next, these two files you can just ignore, and this is git ignore and readme file. You can just leave it, skip it. Okay, and moving on to the folders, let's start with node modules. This folder contains all the dependencies that are installed. Okay, all the dependencies that are installed will be contained inside this particular folder, node modules. Okay, and it is generated in our project as and when we type that create react app command. Okay, now moving on to the public folder. The public folder has these many files, and this favicon.ico, this file is for the it is seen in the browser tab. Okay, so it is not that much important, and mainly this index.html file is which is the file in which we'll mainly focus on. Okay, so and we have logo.png, logo.png. These two files are basically for the output that is generated, and you can see this logo in as the output. And this manifest.json file is not that important for a beginner. So generally it is meant for building progressive web apps. Okay, so as a beginner I'll not recommend you to focus on this file, so you can just ignore this file as of now. Okay, so let us close this file, and this robots.txt file, you can just ignore this file also, because it is actually used for SEO purpose. Okay, so for search engine optimization and all, you can use this file. So you can, as of now, you can just ignore these files. So the focus comes to this index.html file, right? Now look, for creating single page web applications, we actually need this file. Okay, we need this file, index.html, because the view might change dynamically in the browser, right? But eventually this index page is the page which is served actually, right? So this will be the page which will be served. Now let me show you. Now if I try to start the server, I have started the server and it will open up my application. Look, it is running now, right? So this index.html, this view might change, but the index.html is the page which will be served. Okay, so yeah, and one more thing, we need not change this file. Okay, it is not advised to make any changes to this file actually, from a beginner's point of view. Okay, so you just keep this file as it is. Okay, and nothing to modify, nothing to add, right? Just look at this file and you'll find a div here. You'll find a div, and it will contain an ID named root. Okay, there's a div with an ID named root. Okay, so during the runtime, the React application, what it will do is it will scan this div. Okay, it will scan this div with this root as an ID. It will scan and it will control the UI. Okay, it will control the user interface. Now this div becomes a very important part of this entire index.html file. Okay, your focus should only be on this div, nothing to modify, nothing to change. Okay, just focus on this div and remember this ID as the root, this root as the ID. Okay, so now let's close this file and shift our focus to the source folder. So this is the main folder with which we have to work the most part. In this folder there are certain files where we will have to work the most. Okay, and here there is a file named index.js. okay, and in this file here we can see that there is something written as app. What this app means is this is the name of a component. Okay, and what is component we will be discussing in a later video, because it itself is a topic of discussion. So we will learn about components, and I'll explain you what a component is, and I'll explain it to you with examples. Okay, so as of now you just remember that this is called a component. Okay, and the DOM, and this is the DOM element root. Remember, in the public index.html file we had this id called root. So this is the DOM element, right? And inside this index.js file, we can see there is a component called app and the DOM element, which is controlled by React. Okay, which is controlled by React. So the app component, this app component is rendered inside the DOM element. This app component is rendered inside the DOM element. Okay, clear? So even if it's not clear, just try to observe the structure. Okay, this video is intended for explaining to you the structure only. Okay, all these details will be explained in yet another video. So you will be learning about the components, you'll be learning about the DOM. Okay, all these things you'll understand in later videos, but as of now just a basic understanding you can take it. So other files that we have are the index.css file, which applies the CSS style throughout the body. Okay, throughout the body. And we have app.js. This is another file and it represents the view. So everything that you see in the browser is because of this app.js, and this app function, okay, this function is associated with this particular app component that I just told you. Okay, so this will be explained in another video, as I told you. So just remember that this represents the view which we see in the browser. Okay, and for this we have a CSS file called app.css. So for every component, as this app.js, it is a component, so for every component there is a separate CSS file. So every component will be styled separately. Okay, so the app.css file will have CSS style. This app.css file will have the CSS style specific for the app component only. Okay, and there is another file called app.test.js. App.test.js, it will show a simple test case. Okay, it will show you a test case, right? So there are other files, and these are not that important. You can skip these files. This is the logo.svg. This is referenced in the app component. It's referenced in the app component. So, and these things you can just skip for this moment. These two files you can skip, because this will not be used in the basic application level. Okay, so So I guess you have understood the basic folder structure of a React app, now let us understand the flow of the project when it runs. So when we type npm start and the server starts on the when we type npm start on the terminal and the server starts, the index.html file will be served on the web browser. So what you see here is the index.html file, and it is served on the web browser. Now this file contains the DOM element with a div id root. As you can see here, this HTML file has a DOM element with div id root, right? And next the control will shift to index.js file. Okay, and here the DOM will render the React DOM. This is an object. Okay, React DOM will render the app component, okay, onto the root DOM node, right? So this app component, which is again pulled from this app.js, it will be rendered inside the root component. Okay, now this app component, what it typically has is some JX code written on it. Okay, this particular code is JX code. Okay, so HTML like structure, but it is JX. Okay, all these things I'll be explaining it in a later video. So in this video we were just focusing on the file structure, right? So if you have any query regarding this video, you can ask me in the comment section. And also if you have any specific request for me to make a video for, you can just comment. Okay, so thank you guys for watching, and do take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.